Why does a house that has everything still feel heavy and restless at night? Why does money enter your life but never seem to stay long enough to grow? And what if destiny is not working against you, but something inside your space is out of balance? Many people grow up believing that destiny controls every step of their life. When things go wrong, they say, "This is my fate." When peace disappears from the home, they accept it as normal. Over time, this belief quietly takes away personal power. It teaches the mind to wait instead of act, to fear change instead of understanding it. At the same time, many people misunderstand Shiva. They hear the word destruction and imagine loss, pain, or punishment. But Shiva was never about blind destruction. Shiva represents the intelligent force that removes what no longer serves life, so something healthier can take its place. Just like pruning a tree allows it to grow stronger, Shiva energy clears what is unnecessary so balance can return. Look around your home. You may have comfort, technology, and security, yet peace feels missing. Sleep may feel shallow. Small arguments may grow without reason. Money may come in, but it feels stuck, delayed, or constantly leaking away. These are not signs of bad luck or destiny turning against you. These are signs of imbalance. A house does not only hold furniture and walls. It quietly absorbs emotions, habits, stress, fear, and even silence. When this energy becomes heavy or confused, life inside the house begins to reflect the same pattern. This video is not about fear, rituals, or forcing belief. It is about understanding how balance works and how Shiva energy is already present in daily life, waiting to be recognized. By the end of this journey, you will see how small shifts in awareness can change the feeling of your home, your choices, and even the direction of your destiny. Stay with this video until the end for a deeper understanding that can truly change how you live. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can continue exploring wisdom that brings clarity, balance, and peace into everyday life. From a young age, many people are taught that destiny controls everything. If success comes, it was written. If failure repeats, it is blamed on fate. Over time, this belief quietly shapes the mind. It makes people feel small in front of life. When something does not work, they stop looking for reasons and stop trying to change direction. This is the first and strongest myth about destiny, that humans have no real power and must simply accept whatever happens. But if destiny were fully fixed, learning, effort, and awareness would have no meaning. Yet every day, we see people change their lives by changing their thinking, habits, and choices. Fear plays a big role in keeping this myth alive. Fear-based beliefs teach people to avoid responsibility. It feels easier to say, "This is my destiny," than to face uncomfortable truths. Someone may fail in business again and again, but instead of learning new skills or correcting mistakes, they blame fate. Another person may stay in an unhappy job or relationship for years, believing that suffering is unavoidable. This belief slowly drains energy and hope. It creates a loop where the same problems repeat, not because destiny demands it, but because awareness is missing. This is where the true meaning of Shiva energy becomes important. Shiva is not a force that decides your life for you. Shiva represents conscious choice. It is the awareness that sees patterns clearly and has the courage to break them. When a person stops blaming destiny and starts observing their actions, words, and thoughts, change begins naturally. Old habits lose their grip. New paths appear. This is not magic. It is clarity. Just as light removes darkness without fighting it, awareness removes confusion without force. Think of destiny like a road, not a prison. You may be born on a certain path, but every choice you make creates turns along the way. Shiva energy helps you notice when you are walking in circles. It removes excuses, fear, and false comfort. When that happens, life may feel uncomfortable at first because comfort zones begin to dissolve. But this discomfort is not destruction, it is growth. Destiny responds to awareness. When awareness rises, repetition ends. When repetition ends, a new future becomes possible. Many people hear the word Shiva and immediately think of destruction, loss, or endings. This misunderstanding did not begin today. Long ago, humans feared change more than anything else. When something familiar ended, it felt like death. Because of this fear, any force connected with endings was labeled as dangerous. Over time, Shiva became wrongly linked only with destruction. But if we look closely at nature, we see a very different story. In forests, old trees fall, so young plants can receive sunlight. In some lands, fire clears dead plants, so fresh life can grow stronger. These events may look harsh at first, but without them, nature would slowly suffocate. What appears as destruction is often preparation. Human beings struggle with this truth because loss feels personal. When something is taken away, the mind feels attacked. A job loss, a broken relationship, or a sudden change can feel like punishment. Many people ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They rarely ask, "What was being removed for my protection?" There are countless real-life stories where a painful ending later saves a life. Someone misses a bus that later meets an accident. Someone loses a job that was slowly destroying their health, only to find a better path later. At the moment of loss, it feels cruel. With time, it reveals its wisdom. Shiva energy works in this quiet way. It does not destroy for pleasure. It removes what blocks growth. When something unhealthy stays too long, it becomes dangerous. Fear, pride, false habits, and old attachments slowly poison life. Shiva energy clears these layers so life can breathe again. This removal feels uncomfortable because humans cling to what they know, even when it hurts them. Comfort becomes a cage. Understanding this changes how we see suffering. Not every ending is an enemy. Not every loss is a curse. Sometimes, what leaves your life is exactly what was keeping you stuck. Shiva is not the cause of pain. Shiva reveals the truth hidden behind pain. When we stop fighting change and start learning from it, fear loses its power. Growth begins where resistance ends. What we call destruction is often the doorway to balance, strength, and renewal. A home is not just a physical structure made of walls, floors, and furniture. It is a silent witness to everything that happens inside it. Every word spoken, every argument, every moment of fear, and every time joy is shared leaves a subtle mark. Over time, these moments gather like invisible dust. People often say, "I don't know why, but this room feels heavy," or "I feel calm the moment I enter this space." These feelings do not come from imagination. They come from emotional memory stored through repetition. When the same emotion is expressed again and again in one place, the mind begins to link that space with that feeling. Think about a room where arguments often happen. Even before a word is spoken, the body becomes tense when entering it. The heart beats faster, and patience drops. On the other hand, a quiet corner where someone once prayed, read, or rested feels safe without any effort. This happens because the brain works in patterns. Science shows that habit loops form when the same action and emotion repeat in the same environment. The mind learns to react automatically. A house slowly trains its people, and people slowly train their house. Many homes carry unspoken stories, stress brought from work, worries about money, anger held inside, and sadness never expressed, all settle into daily life. When emotions are ignored, they do not disappear. They remain in silence. Over time, this silence becomes heavy. Sleep becomes restless. Small problems feel bigger. Even when nothing is wrong, peace feels missing. This is not bad luck. It is emotional residue asking to be seen. Shiva energy plays an important role here. Shiva is awareness. Awareness does not fight emotion, it notices it. When awareness enters a space, emotional memory begins to loosen. Simply observing patterns without blame starts the clearing process. When people become honest about how they feel, when they stop repeating the same reactions, the house begins to change naturally. Old emotional marks fade when new, calmer habits replace them. A home heals when awareness replaces neglect. Emotional memory is not a curse, it is a message. When understood, it becomes a doorway to balance. Shiva energy does not erase the past violently. It gently dissolves what no longer needs to stay, allowing the home to breathe again. When energy moves freely, life feels lighter. Decisions feel clearer, effort feels meaningful, and progress feels natural. But when energy becomes stuck, everything starts to feel slow and heavy. Many people describe this as feeling blocked, even when they work hard. Days feel busy, yet results feel small. This does not happen suddenly. Energy stagnation builds quietly through fear, confusion, and repeated hesitation. When people delay decisions, avoid difficult conversations, or hold back from change, movement in life slowly reduces. One clear sign of stuck energy is constant tiredness without a clear reason. Another sign is delay. Plans take longer than expected. Simple tasks feel harder. In money matters, this appears as income that arrives but disappears quickly, or opportunities that almost work but fall apart at the last moment. Often, the problem is not lack of skill or effort, but fear-based thinking. Fear causes people to choose safety over growth, comfort over clarity. These small choices slowly block flow. A simple example helps explain this. Imagine water flowing in a river. When it moves freely, it stays fresh. When it gets trapped in one place, it becomes muddy and unhealthy. Life works the same way. Thoughts that are not expressed, emotions that are not faced, and decisions that are constantly delayed create inner dams. Over time, pressure builds. Stress increases, confusion grows. This pressure may appear as anger, sadness, or constant worry without a clear cause. Shiva energy restores movement. Shiva represents rhythm and flow. When awareness enters, stuck areas become visible. This awareness encourages honest action. It pushes people to make clear choices instead of waiting in fear. When a decision is made with clarity, energy starts moving again. Even small actions can restart flow. Cleaning a neglected space, finishing an unfinished task, or speaking an honest truth can change the feeling of an entire home. Flow does not mean rushing. It means allowing life to move naturally without resistance. When resistance drops, energy finds new paths. Money decisions improve, emotional weight reduces, sleep becomes deeper. Shiva energy does not force change. It invites movement. Where movement returns, stagnation dissolves. And when stagnation dissolves, life begins to respond with ease, balance, and steady progress. Many people believe that inviting powerful energy into the home requires complex rituals, expensive items, or strict rules. This belief often creates fear and confusion. People worry they are doing it wrong, so they do nothing at all. In truth, balance responds to intention more than action. Intention is the direction of the mind. When the mind is clear and honest, even simple actions carry strength. A clean floor done with awareness holds more power than a ritual done without understanding. Shiva energy is not impressed by show. It responds to truth. Daily habits quietly shape the energy of a home. The way people speak to each other, the way they wake up, the way they end the day, all of these leave deep marks. A house where people rush, complain, and carry stress without pause slowly becomes restless. A house where people slow down, speak honestly, and respect silence feels lighter. These changes do not require belief systems. They require attention. When habits change, energy follows. Silence is one of the most ignored tools for balance. Not forced silence, but natural quiet. Moments without phones, noise, or constant talk allow the mind to settle. In this quiet, awareness grows. Cleanliness works the same way. When unnecessary items are removed, the mind also feels less crowded. This is not about perfection. It is about clarity. Clean spaces allow energy to move without resistance. Even opening windows daily allows fresh air to reset the mood of a room. Honesty is another powerful force. Many homes feel heavy because truth is avoided. Feelings are hidden to keep peace. But this creates deeper tension. Shiva energy supports honest expression without harm. Speaking clearly, listening fully, and accepting truth, even when uncomfortable, restores balance. Superstition tries to control energy through fear. Truth allows energy to flow through understanding. Shiva energy does not demand rituals or symbols. It aligns with simple living, clear intention, and daily awareness. When actions match inner truth, balance returns naturally. There is no need to invite Shiva from outside. When the home reflects honesty, simplicity, and quiet strength, Shiva energy is already present, steady, and alive in everyday life. When a home becomes balanced, the change is first seen in human behavior, not in objects or decoration. Calm spaces naturally create calm thinking. When the eyes see order and the body feels relaxed, the mind slows down. Thoughts become clearer. Decisions feel less rushed. This is why people often think better while sitting in a quiet room or walking in nature. The environment guides the mind. A noisy, crowded space pushes the brain into constant alert mode, while a balanced space tells the body it is safe to rest and think. As thinking becomes calmer, communication also changes. In many homes, arguments do not start because of big problems. They start because of tired minds and tense bodies. When energy is balanced, patience increases without effort. People listen more and react less. Words become softer. Even disagreements feel easier to handle. This is not because people are forcing themselves to be kind, but because their inner pressure has reduced. A calm environment removes the need to defend, explain, or fight. There are many examples of families who changed without rules or control, simply by changing their space and habits. When shared areas became cleaner and quieter, family members began spending more time together naturally. Phones were put aside without being asked. Meals became calmer. Children became less restless. No one was forced to behave differently. The space itself encouraged better behavior. This shows how deeply environment shapes human action. Shiva energy works through inner discipline, not outer control. Discipline here does not mean strict rules or punishment. It means awareness guiding action. When people wake up with clarity, speak with honesty, and rest without guilt, discipline becomes natural. This inner order reflects outward. The home starts to feel steady and supportive. Even during difficult times, reactions become thoughtful instead of emotional. Balanced homes do not remove problems from life. They change how problems are faced. Instead of panic, there is presence. Instead of blame, there is understanding. Shiva energy does not demand perfection. It encourages maturity. When inner discipline grows, outer harmony follows. The home becomes a place that supports growth, not stress. And when behavior changes at this deep level, peace stops being temporary and starts becoming a way of living. The final and most important truth is this: the source of all energy in a home is the person living inside it. A house does not create peace or tension on its own. It reflects what is happening within the minds and hearts of the people who live there. When the inner world is crowded with fear, regret, anger, or confusion, the outer world slowly begins to show the same disorder. Clutter on the floor often mirrors clutter in the mind. Noise in daily life often reflects unrest inside. This is not a reason for blame. It is a chance for understanding. Many people feel guilty when they hear this idea. They think, "So everything is my fault." That is not the message. Responsibility is not punishment. Responsibility is power. When you understand that you are part of the cause, you also become part of the solution. There is no need for shame. Everyone carries inner clutter at some point in life. Old thoughts, past pain, unspoken emotions, and false beliefs quietly pile up. When ignored, they guide decisions without permission. When seen clearly, they begin to loosen. Shiva energy represents the courage to face this inner truth. Not to judge it, not to fight it, but to see it clearly. This kind of honesty takes strength. It is easier to blame destiny, people, or situations. But real balance begins when a person says, "Let me look within." This is where Shiva lives, not in fear, but in clarity. When truth is accepted, false layers fall away naturally. There is no violence in this process, only understanding. As inner balance returns, destiny begins to shift. Not suddenly, not magically, but steadily. Choices become wiser, reactions become calmer. Opportunities that were once missed are now recognized. The same life, the same house, and the same conditions begin to produce different results. This is how destiny responds to awareness. Destiny is not fixed stone. It is flowing water, shaped by the path you create. When you become balanced, your home follows. When your home becomes balanced, life begins to support you. Shiva is not something to bring from outside. Shiva awakens when courage, truth, and simplicity guide daily life. You are the temple. When the inner space is clear, the outer world reflects peace, strength, and steady growth. All the lessons in this video lead to one simple but powerful truth. Balance begins within. Shiva energy is not about destruction or punishment, and destiny is not fixed. When we understand this, we see that the home, the family, money, and opportunities are all mirrors of our inner state. A house that feels restless, a life that feels stuck, or money that seems to flow away are not signs of bad luck. They are signs that energy needs attention. When awareness enters, small changes create big results. Cleaning spaces, speaking honestly, resting quietly, and choosing daily habits with care allow energy to move freely. These are not complicated tasks, yet they have a powerful effect because they align the inner world with the outer world. Understanding this brings freedom. No longer does a person need to wait for destiny to act or to fear loss and change. Shiva energy is already present in everyday life, waiting to guide anyone who chooses to notice it. When you remove unnecessary habits, emotions, and objects, life begins to feel lighter. Problems do not disappear instantly, but they are easier to face. Decisions become clearer. Relationships improve. Money that once seemed stuck begins to flow. All of this happens because clarity, honesty, and courage create space for energy to move naturally. The home becomes a supportive environment, and the mind becomes calm and focused. Remember, the power to change life is already within you. Destiny responds to awareness, and Shiva energy responds to truth. You do not need magic or rituals to bring balance. You need clarity, courage, and simple, consistent action. When inner balance grows, outer life follows. Your house becomes a place of peace, your mind becomes steady, and your choices become wiser. By understanding and applying these truths, life begins to shift in quiet but meaningful ways, showing that peace, growth, and balance are always within reach. This is the essence of Shiva energy and the true path to shaping your destiny.